If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard anywhere Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to start.
Good evening and welcome back to Open Season, the podcast that you get to open up to anything and everything you like. Today we have a special guest that I've been trying to get in here for a while, but she's finally ready. uh, Fellow listeners, welcome Jasenia. How you doing? Or
I'm
Jesse?
good. Yesy, Yesenia, either way, it's
Jesse.
fine.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm grateful, another beautiful day. I got
Yes,
everything I
ma'am.
need, the sunshine, the moon, the sky, earth. It's all good.
That's right.
All the elements.
That's right. All in one. Earth, wind, and fire.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bands also.
Oh, yeah.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to
Thank
the
you so much.
podcast. Glad you can make it.
Thank you. I'm actually super excited. I'm
That's
really
what's
excited
up.
to get open and vulnerable.
Oh, open up. Let those feelings out. Get
hmm
ready. Let those brain muscles relax and just let it out.
Yeah, thank you.
First of all, let me ask you, what made you want to actually do this?
Um, I wanted to come on here because I feel like I went through something really hard and I know it took me a while to actually get vocal about it and it turns out I'm definitely not the only one going through this. I feel like the more comfortable I got to talk about it, the more I was able to, be compassionate with others and be able to sit and, make that space for them to open up as well,
Right, right, right.
But uh, I think it's something that everybody goes through, some more than others. But I mean, I I love relationships. I love
Right.
relationships, but there are just some that are not meant to continue, you know?
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, look, the mic is all yours. And
Okay.
wherever you want to start, if you want to
Oh,
start from the beginning, we start from the beginning. But hey, the mic is all yours now.
oh, okay. Thank you. Well, I just wanted to clarify. I know, like on Instagram, my name is Mala y Dramatica,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's something that's always stuck with me. And one of the reasons is because I tend to be very vocal about how I feel. And to a lot of people, it comes off as dramatic. But I feel personally, it's just me setting boundaries, being vocal
Right.
about what I like and what I don't like.
Right.
And a lot of people don't like that. um, but anyways, it carried on, and I kept it. And the reason was because I'm definitely a hopeless romantic. I love being in love. Um, and I think the reason why I had such a tough time is because I am very empathic,
Mm.
so so the hardest part for me in every relationship was always a breakup. Um, And I know that I'm not the only one that carries on a relationship because it's so hard
Right.
to to get out of your comfort zone. You're so used to your partner, and a lot of the times, unfortunately, your partner isn't willing to grow with you,
Correct.
you know? And so like I said, the hardest part for me was ending relationships, and I feel like I really wanted to talk to this. I really wanted to talk about toxic relationships, abuse in relationships, because I think it's very important for not only women, but for men to be clear on their intentions when they're entering, even, starting to see somebody, definitely more heavier on the actual relationship part.
Right.
But just from experience, I've always been the one to be extra careful about other people's emotions, hurting other people's feelings. And I think that it's very necessary. A lot of the times we're so used to being selfless, we're so used to being considerate of the other person, even though that that's not going to help us. It's not helping you, and it's not helping the person that you're with. There's a lot of buildup, a lot of resentment, a lot of you did this, and tit for tat. And
Yeah.
I know that relationships could get really messy. So I with my relationship, I started seeing this guy, and I really liked him when he was
Mhm.
when he was good, when he was happy, when he was fulfilled. He was an amazing person, but he had a lot of and he had a lot of untreated you know uh mental illnesses,
Oh, okay.
and it sucks because I personally don't think that you're born with things like this.
Yeah.
I really do believe that it depends on your surrounding, on the things that you consume, whether it's food, television, music. You know, for me, I feel like that's what does it. And in this relationship, I kept bypassing him. I would see the red flags, but I care so much about him that I would create excuses for him.
Right.
And I anyways,
Take your time. Take your time.
um I just think it's very important for each person to be able to speak their part. And even though it's hard, because like I said, everybody's feelings get involved. Um, but I really encourage, when you see those red flags, to talk about it,
Right.
because a lot of the times, because even now, I'm in a whole new relationship, and it's 1,000 times better, but you still see red flags. I'm sure that I've given red flags. I'm sure you've given red flags, but it's always like these things need to be talked about without being shy or without being embarrassed, because I mean, how is it that you're willing to share your body with somebody, but you can't talk about things that bother you, that get in the way?
Exactly.
So I noticed from being with being in that toxic relationship, I ignored a lot of my intuition, and what that did, I was always a very spiritual person. I still am. But I noticed it right away, when I started having sex with this guy. It was like I kept ignoring my intuition until it wasn't there anymore.
Oh,
And yeah, and I think that's something I didn't know about. You know, I never knew that me sharing space with somebody, like their energy and their vibration would actually affect me so much.
right.
So I have to be honest, like it did affect my relationship with myself because I abandoned myself. And a lot of those situations where I chose him over my own well-being.
Right.
And not only did it affect my intuition, but it also affected my relationship with God. You know, I feel like before this relationship, I would feel him, and I felt joy, I felt light. And after sharing, I mean, it sounds crazy, but sharing my body with somebody who doesn't have the same intentions as I do, it really crippled my.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I really wanted to get into that. And you know, I am aware now that higher vibrations are so much stronger than lower vibrations, but it takes a lot of work for you to put yourself together, you know?
Oh yeah, it does. Trust
It
me.
it really does. And I didn't realize that until I mean now I see it. So not only not only did not only did I go through that relationship and the relationship, you know, I didn't have a partner. I wasn't seeing or dating anybody after him.
Yeah.
I I ended up having this child, you know, who I absolutely love. He's my world. And he was my main focus. And I personally thought that I was healing. I was quote unquote getting over it. I was avoiding, you know, what I went through. I just wanted it to go away. I just wanted it to go away. I swept it under the rug. Um, not only was it mentally, it was physically, it was emotionally. It it was a really nasty relationship.
Right.
Yeah, it was and you know, I mean, I'm just gonna get really into it, but I let little things bypass, and it turned into like one of the most horrifying things that I had ever experienced. I was pregnant, and I was living with someone who was physically, emotionally, and mentally violent. You know, I was scared. I decided, you know, we were like a year into the relationship, and we were thinking about saving money. And even though we were having problems, we well I assumed that we would be able to fix them. We
Hmm.
ended up moving in, um and as soon as I got pregnant, it got physical.
Oh.
And then I realized, you know, he would say really ugly, nasty things. And it it's just crazy to me how you fall in love with the thought of somebody. You know, they show you love, they're vulnerable, but then they take your vulnerability and they twist it around. And I
Yeah. Or
feel
they take it
like,
for granted.
yeah, and I feel like that's why it's so important to pay attention to the red flags, because I know that if I would have took those red flags more seriously, I could have avoided this whole thing. I mean, I'm very grateful that I didn't. I'm very
Yeah.
grateful that I didn't. I don't believe in mistakes. I do believe that, you know, you're either a teacher or you're a student, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, like I said, it crept up. It wasn't so bad in the beginning. You know, he was just angry. He just had a bad day at work. He just got in an argument with his friend or whatever, and it flipped. So fast forward, I'm pregnant, and I come to the realization that there's no way that I can be around him. Like he pretty much showed his true colors.
Right.
There's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of if you lose a baby, it's all your fault. And
Shit.
it was pretty sickening. It was pretty sickening. And I mean, I don't know, from experience, it kind of felt like the laws were made to protect men. And I don't know if that's just my perception.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's reality, but in that time, that was my reality. I didn't want him. He was physical, so there was a lot of you know, like my dad would show up because he would have a feeling. It's like his intuition was telling him that something's going on with his daughter, and like, you know, the cops would show up, and I would tell them like, you know, like he's abusive and I want him out of my house. And they would ask like, you know, how long has he been living here? And by that
Right.
time it had been a year, and they're like, oh, we can't do anything about it. And I'm just like, you know, I was so distraught because I felt like, no, let me rephrase that. I just wanted to survive. Like
Right.
I just wanted I I honestly felt like I was gonna lose my child. I felt like, you know, God forbid that somebody shows up to my house and I'm not breathing. Like it was really scary, and I didn't realize how it escalated, you know, so quickly. I felt like we were so in love, and then suddenly it was just abuse after abuse after abuse. And there was no way around it. So I really had to like think about it. I really had to write down, like I had a journal. I wrote.
Right.
And then I came up with a plan, and that consisted of lying a lot.
Oh.
You know, I packed up his things, I threw his stuff out. I called, like the cops came to my house and they were like, hey, he needs to come back inside. I had to lie to the cops and say, I have no idea who this man is. I
Oh.
went on a date with him once,
Right.
and he followed me home, and he brought his stuff, and he's crazy. That's how desperate I got, because I was just so scared. I was scared for my life.
And you were over it already.
I was over it. Like I said, I just wanted to survive. And I mean, I don't know. I guess it was just me, you know, I was very ashamed. I was very ashamed because my dad, he's very in touch. He's very in touch and like with his senses. He's a very spiritual being. And the moment he laid eyes on, you know, sperm donor, he was like, that man is trash and you should not be with him. And he was the only one that was like, Yessie, you know, please, please leave him.
Right.
And, you know, me and my daddy issues, I was like, no, like you know, because my dad, when I was younger, he was an alcoholic. So growing up, it was like he was there, he was physically there, but he wasn't always
But he wasn't
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, he really wasn't. he went through a lot of stuff himself, but I think at this point he was trying to make it up,
Right.
trying to make up the years that were lost. And I didn't accept it. And I just felt like he was just telling me what to do. But anyways, I had to lie about this guy just to get him out of my house. And I just like I want to make it like so clear that, you know, it doesn't matter what you've been through, what you're used to, what you're conditioned to see as normal. If something doesn't feel right in your body when you
Yeah.
are with someone else, listen to it. There's so many different spiritual like definitions when you get certain headaches, certain chest pains, and I would get those all the time. And now that I'm, practicing more, like, getting more in touch with my spirituality, I feel it right away. I feel it all right away. And it's so important for us to listen to our bodies,
Yeah.
especially when we're around other people. Because as of now, I feel like it is my goal to share the love of God, to really, not only heal for myself, but if I heal my wounds and my traumas and my triggers, I can set an example for those around me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna attract the people that I want to attract. I want to grow, so I'm gonna attract people that are willing to grow and willing to
Right.
let go of baggage,
Right.
even though it's so comfortable. But uh sorry, I'm sick.
Yeah. All right.
Um so I noticed that, being in a relationship like that, I changed dramatically. I really did, and I didn't realize it until I was completely out of the relationship. I was in denial because after the relationship ended, after I had my son, I was so grateful. I knew that I was blessed, but I was numb. I was numb inside, and I knew how I should have felt as a mother,
Right.
and I feel like I I was in denial of being in postpartum,
Okay.
depression. But I see, this is the thing, like I know that depression is real, but I just don't think like postpartum is necessarily real, just because of the fact that we feel like that because we feel like we're not doing enough. We don't
Right.
acknowledge that our bodies completely split open and brought life into this world. We nurtured, we, like all the changes that our body went through, and there's only so much we can do when the baby is actually here.
Right.
And I know that I felt that. I know that I felt like, it was just me.
Yeah.
Like I I have to cheer up. I have to be happy. I have to raise my vibrations because I have this little being, and it's not his fault. Nothing is his fault. So I really had to rewire my brain, and it took a long time. My son is now 4 years old, and I feel like I just started to really integrate everything that I've learned into my daily life. Um, so another thing that I wanted to say is, like, there's so many signs. It's very obvious when you go through something like this, because there's so much lack of self-expression. There's lack of creativity. you're not in touch with your sexuality. And I know personally, like I am a very sexual being. It's not like I always want to screw or anything. But it's like I am very in touch with my feminine side, and um
As
I
you should.
noticed, yeah. But there's so many ways to know that you're lacking in those areas.
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of I don't know if you've heard of mirror work.
Mm-mm.
Mirror work is, I mean, it's probably gonna sound crazy, but mirror work is pretty much like you stand in front of the mirror and you're naked and you just acknowledge your body and you just move. You move your body, and if you're uncomfortable, it means that there's a blockage in your sexuality, like you're not comfortable with who you are. And
Right.
when I first heard that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, of course I'm comfortable. Like, how dare they? But then
Right.
when I right, but then when I actually sat down and I was
And
like,
you
you
did
know
it.
what? Yeah, and I did it. I was like, wow, there's a lot. There's a lot that I'm holding on to. And
Right.
I thought I had let it go, but it was still there. It's trapped. And when they say like, align your chakras, or
Yeah.
that is very real. It's like, I'm pretty sure like 70% of us are so out of alignment. And that's why we, eat shitty foods, and we have all these chronic diseases, because we don't know how to allow our bodies to release all that trauma. We hold on to grudges. We have regrets. We're bitter. I mean, not us, but like people as a whole.
Right.
Um, but I just realized that there was a lot of things trapped in my body, and mirror work was one of like it's like one of the most wonderful things that I had ever came across. Because I didn't realize how out of touch I was.
Right.
I didn't realize that he took so much from me, and um I got into so many different things. I really got into meditating. I really got into
I'm still trying to learn that.
really, it took me a really long time. And there's so many beautiful ways to look at it.
Right.
Because what I learned in meditation was that you are not your thoughts. You are just
Right.
simply the watcher of thoughts.
Right.
And you can literally it's your mind, it's your brain, you can control it. I definitely don't recommend not thinking about negative things,
Right.
because that's just gonna, you're just gonna keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and one day it's just gonna come out like vomit. I know, because it's happened to me.
Oh.
Like I wanted to suppress everything that happened into my abusive relationship. I
Yeah.
just wanted to act like nothing happened. I wanted to it kind of, what it reminded me of is like, like when you crumple up a paper and then you try to like, flatten it out like nothing happened, and it's just like that was me. I was that fucked up paper.
Right.
And like what I had to do instead is acknowledge everything that I went through, and see myself. And I had to do a lot of like inner child work, where I had to tell 5-year-old me, like, I'm gonna take care of you, and I'm gonna do anything I can to let you know that you're okay, because we really are okay. Whether you're a good person, whether you're a bad person, shit is gonna hit the fan. There's gonna be beautiful days, and there's gonna be really shitty days where we just want to stay in bed and cry all day. So personally, yeah, I had to do a lot of meditation. I had to implement shadow work, which shadow work is pretty much being self-aware.
Uh-huh.
Um, when your wife comes home and she's fucking mad, there's a mess everywhere, and she's like, "Oh, I'm always cleaning up," and then you get mad because she's like, "Oh, she's mad, now I gotta be mad." Like I really had to control my reactions, not my emotions, definitely not my emotions, but my reactions. Because I realized that when I reacted, it was like adding flame, it was like adding gasoline to the flame.
Oh,
You know, like I'm already pissed that you're pissed. Like now I'm acting on it. Now I'm even more pissed because I'm doing stuff that I don't want to do, but I just want to get my point across. And like it was just fire against fire. And so when I started implementing shadow work, there was a lot of listening. It was mostly listening. It was, my boyfriend would be like, "Hey, I love you, but you're being a bitch right now. Like you're being a total asshole." And normally I would be like, "Well, what about that time that you did this, this, and that?"
so you'll bring the
But
past.
yeah, that's what I would normally do. But then, like I said, I started integrating shadow work, and I would just be like, "Dang, really? What did I do?" And he'd be like, "Well, you did this, this, and that." And a lot of the time I was like, "Well, you're just being dramatic." But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take that.
Right.
I'm just gonna consider that maybe I did come off too strong, that
Right.
maybe I did have an attitude. I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean to come off like that.
Right.
Bam. That's it. Oh my gosh. You know what? I
Tension
was being a
over.
bitch. Yeah, the tension is over. You diffused it, and a lot of the times we want to blame other people,
Not
for
only that, I think not only you want to blame other people, but you also like how you said, you keep bringing the past.
yeah,
Like leave the
yeah.
past in the past already. Like, why do you keep bringing stuff that's just gonna make your argument even worse now?
And another thing, because like I said, I would do that a lot. I'm like, I was very, very fucking toxic. Let me tell you that. Um, I would do that. I would bring up the past, and my excuse was nothing has changed.
Right.
Like you're still doing the same thing. But then again, I was holding on to something. There,
Exactly.
there was no clean slate. I would be like, yeah, I'm over it. We're cool. But
But you were still
inside, I'm
holding on to
like,
it.
yeah. And instead of being like, you know what, babe, I really want to just forget about this, but I need to talk to you about it. I'm
Right.
still upset, and I don't want to be upset.
Right.
And that's a lot of vulnerability,
Yeah.
and it's not easy. Um, it definitely wasn't easy for me. When I entered this new relationship, I fucked shit up all the time. Like I would cry, I would yell, I would, like bring shit up. I feel like I did it all. But and that I mean, it was because I thought I was doing the inner work. I thought I was doing like the healing, but I really wasn't. I really was just suppressing it. I'm like I was like the best suppressor. Like but it came up when I was in my relationship now. Like for example, I would think for example, there was a time where me and my boyfriend were having an argument in the car. And I knew that I hadn't worked on my healing because he raised his voice, and I had already took my seatbelt off, and I
Oh
had
shit.
my hand on the door handle ready to, like, I don't know what the fuck I was gonna do, jump out of the car. I don't know. But he looked at me and he's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, why'd you take your seatbelt off? And why are you about to open the door?" And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I got goosebumps. I was like, I didn't realize that. And he's like, I'm not gonna hurt you. And immediately, like, I just started crying and I was like, I thought I had let all of this go,
Right.
and it would happen all the time. We would argue. Next thing you know, I'm hiding behind the door and he's like butt naked in the shower. He's like, I'm not gonna run out there and hit you. Like, why are you hiding from me? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, didn't I didn't realize that I was doing that.
Right.
He's literally taking a shower and we're having an argument. So he raises his voice and I immediately like start hiding, thinking like he's gonna come out and like hurt me. And there was a lot of things like that, a lot of
Yeah.
triggers. And I feel like at this point, triggers are so fucking helpful. They are like God sent,
Yeah.
because it really shows you where you need to work, in what area. I was very jealous, he would leave and I would be like, oh, he's gonna cheat on me. Because I was so used to that, but it's like I said, it carried on to my new relationship. And I had to work with a lot of that because a lot of those things were affecting me so much where I was literally ruining the whole relationship. I didn't trust him. I would push him, I'm almost sure that if I would have continued, he would have, I don't think so because he's a very wonderful guy. But a part of me wonders that if I would have pushed him far enough, would he might just have been like, you know what? You keep calling me a cheater. I'm just gonna go and do it. What difference would it make?
Right.
Like I know that that has happened in a lot of relationships.
Uh-huh.
But I snapped out of it and I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing that thing that everybody else, is doing, and like that's why they fucked up their whole relationship because they kept pushing them and in a way it's like, yeah, like what difference would it make? I'm already accusing him. But anyways, red flags. So and it's crazy because like I said, I was in a toxic relationship and I really want to I hope like people get inspired who have been in really ugly toxic relationships to really look inwards, because when you get together with somebody like that and you share your bed, your body, your fluids, like that's a big part. That's a big part because you guys are sharing each other's energy.
Yeah.
And it and I, like I said, I didn't realize, I was like, great, I left one toxic relationship and now I'm in another, not realizing that I was the one that brought all that shit. Everybody has baggage. Everybody has baggage, but I think in this case, mine was a little more severe. It was a little more severe than my partner's, and it showed. And the aftermath is now I'm doing the healing work, and it's like I can only imagine how he feels. Like, great, now I'm the crazy one because he got so used to no, really, like he got so used to my craziness, my like my toxicness, that he was like he was in a way kind of stuck with it, so it's kind of like now I already feel like I will have to work harder just because I have to lead by example. Because I do know, I am very aware of the damage that I've done. You know, I'm very aware of all the baggage that I brought into the relationship. But it's never too late. You know, it's never too late to work on yourself. I really thought that my relationship was going to be over, but then, you know, and everybody has a different way of healing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a one way. And it's definitely not easy, because if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. But I mean, it's so much easier just to break up and get with somebody else, right? Um,
Well, it's not as easy to get with somebody else right away.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it sits with you. It really does. It's a lot of work to get rid of it. Um, what else? I'm trying to see, because I kind of like I had some notes written down, but I kind of just ended up
Freestyling
going
it,
everywhere.
which is fine
Yeah.
because at least you're speaking from the inside.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what I started listening to? Now that
What?
you said like we were talking about meditation and all that, have you ever gone
Hmm.
on YouTube and just typed in like 852 hertz?
No, what is sound, um
Just
what is it called? Oh
uh,
my gosh.
I don't even know
But
like what to call it, but it's just like yeah, it's
it
basically just regular sounds.
yeah, there's different types of vibrations, different types of
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
that help you break through a lot of um a lot of trauma, or it even helps, like, there are some that help you sleep, there are some that helps you connect, you know, with yourself.
yeah.
I love those, and I also definitely recommend sleep hypnosis. Like, absolutely, because our subconscious mind is always listening.
Shoot. I've started
Um,
playing some relaxing night rain. Anything that has to do with rain or thunderstorm, I'm out.
oh, you're asleep.
I'm completely out within the first the song, the noise hasn't even started. I'm already out because all I hear is the rain already.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, definitely have to have like something soothing. It's so good for our nervous system.
Yeah,
You know, like, how easy is it for you to listen to nature and then put your guard down that you fall asleep? Like, that's beautiful.
yeah. I love anything that has to do like with like rain or anything like that. Like I said, recently I started listening to there's this one, it's 852 hertz and it's called Let Go of Fear, Overthinking and Worries.
Hmm.
Cleanse energy, awakening intuition. That one I
Yeah.
recently started listening to it. It's 4 hours long. I was like, I don't think I have 4 hours of my life just to sit and listen to this. So um, I put them on my AirPods. I put my AirPods on, and then I was like, I'll start cleaning, or I'll start writing on my journal, or
Oh, that's awesome.
something. I'll do something productive that keeps me busy, but at least that's playing in the background.
Oh,
But if
yeah.
I'm ready to bed, like I usually go to bed like around 9 o'clock, nine
Oh,
ten.
that's early.
Th- Oh yeah, I gotta
That
wake up
sounds
at
like a dream.
3 in the morning to go to work.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I understand
So I'll
now.
put some it's on my playlist. So this is something that I'll listen to like during like my days off. But on when I'm ready to bed, it's called Relaxing Rain and Thunder Sounds. Fall asleep faster. That's really what it's
Yeah,
called. It's three
that's
hours
so
long,
nice.
but usually my Roku TV will be like, "Are you still watching within like 10 minutes?" Because I ain't moving anything anymore.
Yeah, and you're like already knocked out.
Yeah, I'm completely out. I literally wake up like around 12 o'clock to turn the TV off
That's
and
so
then just
funny.
leave the soundbar on playing.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that sound bar comes through, huh?
Yeah. Oh my god. I've always wanted one, and then when I saw, I was like, oh, it's called ONN. Own. They sell it at Walmart.
Mm.
I saw it and I
Mm.
was like, oh. okay, I'll get a sound bar. I have an Apple TV. I'll just connect my Apple TV to it and call it a day. When I
Yeah.
connected it to my monitor, I was like, oh my god, this has Roku. I was
What
like,
is
let me
that?
go. Roku is like an Apple
Roku.
TV or like a
Oh,
Fire
okay.
Stick, but it
Okay, that's
comes with
cool.
it. So I was like, you know what? I guess I'll move my Apple TV somewhere else now, and now I'll put my Roku here in my regular TV.
Oh, that's pretty tight.
Yeah, so it's usually just meant just for music.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been really interested into getting a sound bar. I just have my, my JBL speaker and I carry it with me everywhere.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I'm not much of a TV person. I feel like I mostly watch TV when I'm doing like, you know, I don't know, like yoga or like when people are coming over and we're watching something or I'm not much of a TV person because my nervous system is up the roof. So whenever I like watch the news or something and
Yeah,
I just feel like I worked too hard to get my brain washed again, you know?
right, right, right. No, I usually like when I'm having like a really bad day or like when my anxiety and depression is all over the place, I'll just like literally just started listening to country music. I'm the first guy that would have told you 3 years ago, hell no, you'll never hear me listening to country music. I recently started and I was like, wow,
Life changing.
wow.
Oh, no.
And then, like I said, even this, like the 852 hertz, there's another one that's 432 hertz. It's just like, where have this shit's been? Where
Oh
have all
yeah.
this goddamn music been? Like, man, I could have used this years ago, and it probably would have
Mhm.
saved all my arguments and stuff like that. But now it's like, you know what? You live and learn.
Yeah, and you know what it is too? Um, you know, we we're so used to like going to the doctors when we have like an anxiety or depression or you name it, like a headache that we I think as human beings as a whole, we forgot that we have everything that we need.
Yeah.
Like we already have our medicine. We already have everything to heal us. But we're just, it's been I personally, this is how I feel. I mean, this is how I see it. Um, we consume so much, like we consume so much of the world that we forget that we don't need to take drugs. We don't need to take medicines.
Right.
If we just learn that, if we just listen, if we just breathe,
Right.
if we just eat better, like one of the one of the
We
first things that, huh?
go ahead. Go ahead.
One of the first things that got me out of my depression was changing my eating habits.
Yeah.
Um, but it also like that's kind of what it was like a domino effect. Like first it was I got it. I don't know how I got it, but I got a stomach virus and I couldn't eat for like a whole month. And I was like a baby. I had to introduce food to my body all over again.
Oh no.
First, yeah, it was harsh. First I would only drink water and then I would eat fruit and then I would eat like vegetables. It took me like 2 months to even consider eating chicken again. It was just that bad. But it started with that, and then it started with what I listen to, what I
Right.
watch. And I realized that there's a lot of things that I would listen to that I would watch that would make me anxious.
Right.
I would watch the news back when, Trump was running for president, and even this time around I knew better and I was like, you know what? Like fuck the TV. Like they just want to install fear in us.
Yeah.
They really do. And then with this whole COVID, we should be outdoors. We need the sun. The sun is gonna cure us. The sun is
Yeah.
gonna help us. they don't want us to have physical touch, which it's very necessary.
Yeah.
Um, us as human beings, it's in our nature to communicate with each other. And when we don't have that, we get sad, we get lonely, we get depressed, and sometimes we even die. Like, I mean, that's just the reality of it. But anyways, yeah, it was a dominoes effect. And I think one of my favorite parts was getting to, you know, the listening, like that part of your senses is it's so soothing. You know, even now, like I feel like lately I've even been listening to more I guess you would say like podcasts, like, you know, people sharing their healing journey, or like things that they do to soothe. It's like you can find everything on the
Oh yeah.
internet, which I think is so beautiful, because I know that I'm not the only one that is finally starting to get in touch with those senses. You know, I think it's beautiful. I feel like everybody's switching over, you know. People,
Yeah.
well, from what I've noticed is like there's more like plant-based foods, there's more like restaurants that are like,
Yeah.
you know, changing the style, which is cool, because now people have variety. Now people can see how different things affect your body,
Yeah.
you know. um I think it's super cool.
Yeah.
uh
Like last week I had, and it's crazy because the cooks where I work kind of tricked me because I was like, you know what, I've never tried tofu,
Whoa.
and I was like, you know what, it's plain because they made me try it like literally off like just how they got it. I was like, well, how the hell do people eat this, right? Like, what's tofu all about? Like, I don't get it. So one of the cooks decided to make scrambled eggs, and he
Oh,
made it with tofu.
that's
So he
very
did scrambled
interesting.
eggs with tofu, and then he added some seasonings, like just to make the tofu change color to look like egg, right?
Uh-huh.
So they served it to all of us. We're all eating. We're enjoying the shit out of it. It was like, oh my god, this is. And in my head, I was like, this is the best huevos con chorizo I've ever had in my life,
Oh,
right?
that's freaking sick. Yeah.
After we were all done, we're like, okay, let us know what this had so we can like tell you yes, do it, or you know what, we'll change it up a little bit. He goes, it's egg and tofu. We all literally dropped our jaws and we're like, wait, what?
Like that's it.
There is no way in hell I was just eating tofu. Like, how is this even tofu? He's like, it's just the seasoning.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you would have
Yeah.
never caught me eating tofu until that day.
Mm-mm. Hey, you know what? I strongly recommend this restaurant. I don't know if you've heard of it. It used to called Vegatinos, but they switched it to El Cocinero.
At
Have you heard?
Cocinero.
It's an all vegan restaurant. It's called El Cocinero. And let me tell you, I tried it and I was like, no way.
And it's Mexican,
No
right?
way. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I just
Mexican
saw it.
style food. Oh, it's so good. The first thing I tried was their nachos, and I was like, no fucking way.
I just found it on
I
the
have to
Instagram.
tell people.
Chicken
Yes,
chicharrón
it's
al
so good.
pastor. What?
Yeah, and it's so yummy. Like, I mean, it's kind of obvious. It doesn't taste exactly like it, but
Right.
holy crap, it is so good. A lot of the foods does taste exactly like it, which is really crazy. But yeah, he used to have a truck, and he used to park,
Okay.
you know. But now he has like an actual restaurant, which it is a crazy ass line to get in. You're lucky if the line isn't that long, but it's so
Really?
worth it. It's so worth the wait.
Huh. Yeah, we just recently started serving we call it the fake chicken. That's what we call it. Because we
Mm,
just make fun of it, right? But it's just
fake
us making
chicken.
fun of it. Not, it's not like we got something against it. But we call it the fake chicken. I can't eat it.
Oh, you
I
can't?
can't. I've tried it. I've tried tacos with it. I've tried burgers with it. I've tried so much. I even tried their
What
quesadillas, and
what
I
is
can.
it made out of though?
It's
Is it
just I don't I, no idea. But but they say it's vegan chicken. I was like, there's no way in hell I can eat this. Like I understand some people say,
Mm,
oh, it tastes like chicken. I was like, where?
where?
What part? Let me get that part that tastes like chicken so I can try at least that part. Because right now, the part that I'm eating tastes like rubber.
Yeah. No, yeah, I've definitely had my fair share of really distasteful, vegan foods.
Right.
But I think like you just really have to know where, quien tiene el sazón.
Yeah. You're
But
right.
yeah, because I know like I mean I've experimented and especially like at home, I was so used to making like fried foods and steaks and a lot of meat because like my boyfriend loves men are carnivores, so you
We
guys
love our steak.
love your barbecue ribs, your all of
Oh,
that.
I die for barbecue
Yes.
ribs. You ever make barbecue ribs? You better make sure you send me an invite.
Ooh, okay, well, I'll let you know. But no, yeah, I mean it took me a while to actually start because like I said, I can't eat that stuff. Like it, I don't know. I think personally what it was is that um I've lived most of my life in fear and survival mode
Right.
that it literally like fucked up my stomach because I was always so nervous because I was always so anxious.
Yeah.
And I feel like the food that I was eating just fucked it up for me. So it's kind of like, because I have my boyfriend, so I'll cook something, like when he's coming over, like I'll cook something for him, because I mean, it's quite frankly, it's not fair,
Right.
you know. But I do try to cook healthier. I really do. I feel um like I love inviting family and friends over and then I give them like lunch or dinner and I can get really cocky with my cooking sometimes.
As you should.
Yeah, but I mean, there was when I first started cooking, I was like really nervous, and I was just like, I don't know, and I would fuck up so many dishes. But I mean, I feel like now I'm so comfortable, and I love like experimenting, and I love having friends and family over, and they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's this and that." And they're like, I don't know about this." And then they'll eat it, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, this is really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, we end up eating everything." And I'm just like, "Well," I'm like, "Cool," Like I love I love being that bitch. Like lead by example. I love it. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of my growth and how I can affect my loved ones and my friends,
Right.
and
Right.
I love putting them on, like gosh, it's just it's amazing, honestly, because I didn't realize like I was so used to my lifestyle that I didn't realize that I could live life without suffering.
Yeah.
Whether it's like I said, emotionally, physically, what you're eating, like everything that you're consuming, like we're so used to living in fight or flight that we're literally making ourselves sick.
Yeah.
Like we're giving ourselves headaches, we're giving ourselves panic attacks, we're fucking drinking monsters and like triple shot lattes, like when really like we don't our body isn't meant for things like that. Like we don't need it. We are very much capable of being healthy with the minimum, and I think like for sure getting in touch with nature is like one of the
Yeah.
most like grounding things you can do. like super grounding. Your body just knows.
It does.
And yeah, there's so many. I just love, I love Mother Earth because there's nothing that we're missing that she doesn't have,
Yeah.
you know. But I just, wanted a recap on, the whole relationship thing is really it if you want to find the right person or the right match, you got to love yourself. And I never understood how important that was. Like really, really love yourself. Like I thought I loved myself. I thought I would get to know myself, but then I realized that I was always shaming myself. I was always withholding and having regrets and
Right.
doing all types of things like that. And I think that it's very important for us to be selfish in when it comes to our aura, like our energy and who we exchange energies with. Like I said, I happened to have the experience of exchanging energies with someone who was very violent and who was very manipulative, and it really flipped my whole world around. And finally, getting in touch with myself and actually working on my healing process, I've
Right.
never I've never felt better, and I know that I can feel more better. I know it. So I just really like listen to your body. Listen to your body. Listen to what your body is telling you. When you feel uncomfortable with your partner, there's no reason for you to be afraid. I mean, unless, like in my case, like they're violent, then get the fuck out. Like, get the fuck out. Grab your shit and run. Like,
Right.
I'm serious.
Right.
But because if you don't, it really does desensitize you. And then you don't know any better because you've shut that intuition down so many times that it's like non-existent almost. And then you're just living in fear. But I'm just very grateful that I'm able to share that with people. Like I know people probably think like I'm crazy, like there's a lot of times where I share love and people are like, what the fuck? Like this are you a fucking witch? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, okay. Like I just sound crazy. Like dang, like people really don't share love like that it just sounds insane to them.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're especially with this pandemic,
Yeah.
everybody's all shaken up that when you share love, people are thrown off. And I mean, I think it's about time for us to change that,
Yeah.
let's inspire growth.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You are so right. That's crazy though.
Yeah. No, it's pretty intense. And I just want to share something else that I just thought about. When I was in my abusive relationship, I was so scared of what's gonna happen next. How am I gonna do it? How like I it's not that I thought that, I would get left with nothing.
Yeah.
Because I believe in God, and I do believe that God replenishes everything in your life. I do believe in I believe that, karma exists, but it's not in our possession to maneuver it. Like a lot of people want to get revenge, and I mean that was me. I wanted this guy to fucking I wanted somebody to hurt him physically, like emotionally. I wanted that guy. I wanted him dead. Like I hated him.
Yeah.
And I realized that it was only really affecting me. And I feel, now I have so much peace that I know that he's gonna face his consequences if he hasn't already.
Right.
I frankly believe that he's facing them right now, but I forgive him, and it took a lot for me to forgive somebody
Treated you.
who, yeah, who intentionally hurt me, like with intention. It took a lot out of me, but I've I feel so at peace. I feel so protected, and I am protected. But like I said, it's do unto others as you want to be done unto you. And
Right.
it's so easier said than done, but it's not hard to implement compassion into our regular lives. You have no idea what other people have gone through their whole lives, so who are you to judge? You know,
Yeah.
um, but I used to be very scared of how am I gonna do it, like financially? Because this guy, like I wasn't. I set myself up.
Right.
Unin Unintentionally, I set myself up. When it came to my home, when it came to my car was under his name. Um,
Ouch.
like he knew where I worked. Like I had to get a restraining order. It was granted, but that didn't stop him. I had to move every time he found out where I lived. I had to move again. Um, yeah, like he would follow my family with the intention of hurting them.
No shit.
Yeah, it honestly it got so ugly, and I thought, like, it is impossible. How the heck am I gonna get out of this situation? And I felt so much guilt, like, dang, like I brought that onto my family. Like now my family has to watch their back.
Yeah.
And he was very much untreated. He was bipolar, and he had anger issues, and he never treated it. So he was very willing to go to jail. He didn't care. He definitely didn't care. And I was so afraid. And I think, that's the reason why I stayed in the relationship for so long, because I was scared. I
Right.
was scared that he was going to hurt me or kill me or my family, or that, I would get left without a home. I would get left without a car. I would lose my baby. Like there were so many things that I was scared of. But then I realized that, fear is a hint of imagination. You don't know what's on the other side. And once I took that risk and, I hopped over it, like I said, I'm a very firm believer about God, and I really had to give him all of that. All of my worries, all of my sadness, my anger, I really had to give it all to him, and I had to trust him.
Right.
And I mean, now I am so blessed. I'm so blessed. I was so depressed that I literally had to take like a year and a half off of working, period. Like I just didn't work for a year and a half. And I'm just so lucky, not lucky. I'm just so blessed
Right.
that I was able to take care of myself the whole year and a half, with my son. I live in a house, it's a 2 bedroom. I have a car. It's like I got it when it first came out. Just so many things, like doors open. Once you reject what you don't want,
You're
you
free.
attract what you want.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It sucks being like, like this is a nice car and it's free, but I really want that car. And I mean, it's like it's a lot of manifesting.
Yeah.
which also like that was a big one for me. I didn't realize that I I'm pretty good at that. Everything that I've ever wanted,
Really?
I've manifested in my life. Yeah, I have. And I really do believe that it depends on how strong your relationship is with your spirit and with
Yeah.
God. You know, it doesn't mean like, I I still hang out like with my friends and I'm still able to stand in my worth, you know. Just because you have a relationship with God doesn't mean that you have to you're like a prude or like I don't believe in that. I really don't. I feel like everybody is completely different. And then even if and when you really think about it, all the prudes that are like, like um I'm a quote in Christians,
Yeah.
because there are so many quote unquote Christians that I know that they do all that stuff that you're not supposed to. They're judging, they're gossiping, they're stealing, they're cheating, and it's like, dude, like don't even call yourself a Christian, man. Like you're making us all look bad. But it I don't even think Christianity should even be like a word because it's literally just your relationship with God, and everybody is entitled to create their own relationship with their God, or their divine or their higher power.
Yeah.
And I think that's very
Right.
like important. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's gonna save you. Like I said, we're so used to living in fear with sadness and depression, and it's just normal. And once you step out of that, you're like, wow, I I could live without all that shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, why didn't anybody tell me sooner? Like it's just amazing, and I really can't wait. Like, I already see it now. I see it now. People are getting into crystal healing. People are getting into ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting into like working with your inner child. There's so many ways. There's so many. Even just putting your feet in the grass. It's so grounding. Like, God created this earth, and like it's fucking free. Like, you don't have to, dar tu diezmo, and
Yeah.
like you can just create a relationship with God and speak to him every day, and he's gonna tell you, and it's gonna help you. Like, if you wanna get into manifesting, that's definitely the best way to go. Like, I I I'm protected. I'm gonna be protected because I have faith.
Yeah.
And I know that as long as I'm doing my part and sharing love and sharing healing, the rest will just come. You know, you reap what you sow is like the main thing. So
No, I feel you.
I love this.
That's why I did it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. Um, there's so many different things to learn, and once you're done doing one thing, you're like, not yet, now let's fix this.
Yeah.
Remember your abandonment issues? Yeah, let's dive into that. Just,
Let's start there.
random stuff. Yeah.
Let's start there.
But I'm really excited. I can't wait till you get more people to be like a part of this, because I think it's something that we really need.
Yeah. There's a
It's
couple
so
of people,
cool.
there's a couple of people that I have that want to do what you did, and what other people have done is like come in and open up, but it's just once the time comes and they're like, you know what, I can't. I was like, you know what, take your time.
Yeah.
One day you'll open up and we'll be here. I don't know if I'll be here, but somebody's gonna be there listening for you, waiting for
Yeah.
you to open up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And
I hope this lasts for like forever. But
oh
it's
yeah.
baby steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
The growth. You got to
yeah,
be patient. No,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful, and especially because, there's so much censoring going on.
yeah,
It's so many filters of it's quite deceiving, So to have something like this so raw, um, I love it. I love it because people get to hear the truth, or something might just resonate with them.
yeah. You
And
always get asked like, "Can we say anything?" I was like, "It's an open mic. Are you gonna take this off?" Or like when we're talking, be like, "Are you gonna edit this?" I was like, "No. Why should I?
Wait, so you're
You're
not gonna
speaking."
edit out all my stuttering? Just
Nah, that was the best part. No.
oh gosh. Uh,
It's like no. It's open mic. It's raw, and that's the only reason I do it like through the phone,
yeah.
so that the audience can be like, obviously we're talking through an app, but it's still through the phone.
Yeah.
But
It's like it. It feels like it. I'm in the comfort of
yeah,
my own home, and I feel
yeah,
like, like I was willing to be vulnerable. I like
yeah,
you know, it was just like I was so ashamed for so long, and then I realized like, holy crap, I'm not the only one going through this.
yeah,
I should probably speak up.
yeah,
And it's so helpful. I know that, a lot of the times we wonder, like, man, like, if God exists, like, why do we have to go through pain? And it's like, it's because we need to learn how to be compassion.
yeah,
I mean, the whole definition of being compassion is to suffer with.
yeah,
And what's more comforting than knowing that you're not alone? Like
yeah.
it's
I
crazy
even
because
became like
uh-huh.
a modern an admin, you can say, in a Facebook page,
Oh,
and
nice.
it's called the Walking Beside You Anxiety and Depression Support Group, and it's crazy because I went in there as just being one of them, and then
Mm-hmm.
when I started opening up with them, and then I started help talking to other people, like the admins went up to me and they're like, "Do you want to be an admin with us? You give some great advice." I was like, I do this once a week. I was like, I do this on a podcast. I do this at
Yeah.
work. And they're like, I'm pretty sure you've been hurt a lot. I was like, that's the only reason I do it. So I don't want to see other people go through what I went through.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like when there it's just that there's so much shame. Like
Yeah.
even if we're hurting, like why is it that we are ashamed of what happened to us?
Right.
And it's like I said, it's beautiful that people don't have to suffer in silence because I'm pretty sure, I know that you've probably lost somebody too that did it to themselves and
Yeah.
they felt alone. They felt that shame that, I can't speak up.
Right.
I can't. Nobody's gonna listen to me or whatever it is. There's so many reasons as to why somebody withholds pain,
Yeah.
and I already know, the more we speak about things like this, that those ratings are just gonna keep dialing down, and I'm so grateful to be a part of that journey, because I was there. I was there. I didn't want to live. I didn't care, and I felt guilty because I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was very careless, and I know that God was watching over me because I to this day, like I don't understand how nothing happened to me. I'm still here. I'm still here, and I'm able to speak about that. You
Yeah.
know, like I'm able to share that. Like, hey, like I know what it's like to feel empty. Like I know what it's like to feel nothing and feel guilty about it. So I think that's wonderful, and I can't wait. I really can't wait until more people get more involved with things like this because you know, like we care.
Yeah.
You know, people
We
shouldn't
are
want
here.
to. Yeah, like people shouldn't want to take themselves out or take others out, you know, like there's just so much love to go around.
Exactly. And that's what
Yeah.
like that's usually what I tell people when they ask me, like, so why did you start? Like, why they literally go up to me and say, why did you start a podcast? I was like, because when I needed somebody to talk to, I didn't have anyone.
Yeah.
So why not
Yeah.
make a platform where somebody needs to talk to you? I may not know you. Like, I've known you for how long already? Years, right? We've
Yeah.
we went we've been together what once, and we went to a hookah bar. Ever
Yeah,
since
but
that day,
we
we
spoke,
became friends.
yeah. I think that was in 2015. Was it 2015 or 14?
Uh,
Something like that.
it was
It was a
somewhere
long
out there.
time ago.
Yeah,
It was one of those years. But I know that yeah, we've only seen each other once, but I know
once.
that whenever you and I talk or communicate, I mean, you
It's
don't
like a
feel like a
long talk,
stranger. Yeah, you're not a stranger. Like I feel like I know you.
right?
And there's that you know, confianza. Like
Yeah,
I'm comfortable speaking with you.
right.
So I think I don't think it's a coincidence when you meet people, you know, like I said, you're either a student or a teacher, and I there's absolutely no way that this could have possibly been a coincidence.
Good morning.
My son. Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Someone's
Yeah,
hungry.
he wants a snack now. But yeah, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. You know, we didn't cross paths for no reason.
Exactly. And to think about it, we've only been together once.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't, I mean, it sure doesn't feel like it, but you're absolutely right.
Once in so long, and look at us now.
Yeah.
We still
Oh yeah.
talk like we were at that spot back in
Yeah.
the
Oh
day.
yeah, we totally clicked. No, it was awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any final words. You want to promote anything you're doing? Do it
Um,
now.
well,
Shoot everything. We'll post everything on our Instagram page. We'll post it on our Facebook page. We'll get you
okay,
out there.
awesome. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share because if somebody was listening to this and something resonated with them, I mean, I'm very active on Instagram and I love sharing useful information, you know. Um I'm a little wacky, but you know, like I feel like I feel like people really love listening and reading things that are useful, that are healing, you know, because there's a lot of things that we're not aware of. And I just love putting shit on blast. I mostly put myself on blast. So if you're anything like me, like you're gonna learn.
Don't
No,
don't
but
scare them now.
you're gonna learn today. No, but I um I love talking about these things. And as hard as it is, I I love posting about growth, you know. Like I said, I don't believe in mistakes. But there are just consequences to every single decision that we make. So yeah, mala y dramática for Instagram.
We'll post you out there. People will know who you are now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
Are you still doing your? What was that thing you were telling?
I was doing a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I
I was
know.
doing hair, I was doing makeup, I was doing clothes, I was I don't know, I was doing a lot of different stuff. But
Your
I mean
succulents. Weren't you sending that?
oh yeah, I still have a lot of plants. I'm a plant lady. I also sell plants. Anybody who wants them. I have a few things going on that I should probably post more about those things. But yeah, I'm kind of, me, fun gal. I dabble with a bunch of different things. I recently just started getting into jewelry.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, because I'm sure I'm very I work with healing crystals.
Yeah.
So I started integrating that with jewelry because I love jewelry. So I started getting into that, and I'm still working on stuff, find the best materials, and I have my personal like crystal lady who I go to. Her and her husband go and they mine out. They travel, so it's not like, I mean, I don't mean to bash or anything, but it's like, why go to the mall and buy crystals when you can support somebody local who is actually doing the work?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things like that. I definitely support small businesses. I've been really working hard on finding people. I feel like we're coming to a time where they're really trying to segregate us. With the whole vaccine and everybody has the right to their own opinion, but
Yeah.
we're literally being divided. People who don't want to take the vaccine are being shamed, and then they're shaming the people who are taking the vaccine, and vice versa. So there's gonna be a lot of shit going on. People are gonna be shaken up, and I feel like it's very important for us to know who is local,
Mm-hmm.
who really get in touch with growing plants, herbal medicine. I don't know. I just have a feeling that things are gonna get crazy. So it's always good. It's always good to integrate that and build a community.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much.
Hey, no, thank you for being here.
I really appreciate it. This was wonderful.
Thank you. Just keep in mind, well, this might be going out pretty soon.
Ooh.
No, I think this will be my next episode going out. I had to take a break for a week. I had to gather myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. You're doing a lot, which is wonderful.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
No, it's
trust me, I know.
watching
Sometimes I
that.
come and they're like, "You want to do it today?" It's like, no, I just got home. Like, not today. Can we do it tomorrow? And then tomorrow comes like, I promise you today. Okay, let's do it today.
It's
But yeah,
because you have a lot of stuff to do. You're a hard worker,
thank you.
You
Appreciate it.
are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you coming in for opening up. Means a lot.
Thank you too. Thank you so much.
Nah, not even. You did what you had to do. And
No,
we'll see
yeah.
if we can get you some followers out there.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, the more the merrier.
Right.
I just love getting in touch with people who are, well, have good intentions.
Yeah.
I think that's most important.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Little by little,
we
we're
will.
getting there.
Yep.
But thank you again. You have a good night. Go give
You
your little one a snack.
too. Oh yeah, he's already all over it.
Oh, he's like
Yeah,
done
thank you
and
so
waiting for
much.
another one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this was great, and I can't wait, and I know like you know, I didn't have a plan. I didn't, write anything down, so I hope I don't sound too crazy, but
Hey, those are the best ones.
yeah, I guess you're right, huh?
Those are the best ones because if you prep and you write everything down, it's just gonna be scripted and it's gonna be like, you know what? I'm not airing this one out.
Mhm. But hey, we touched on a lot of topics. We even touched on food, music. That's cool.
Right.
But
We'll
thank
get
you
back
so
together
much.
again.
Yes, we will. We will. Thank you, and have a wonderful night.
Hey, you too. You have a
Keep it
wonderful
this.
night. I'll keep in touch. I'll hit you up
Okay,
later on.
will do.
All
Take care
right.
and have a wonderful night.
Hey, you too. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.